Hey everybody, hi, I'm Joshua, and what today is June 26th or so, and this is Lunch Break Roguelike, which you can see behind my head here. This is just a fun project I do over my lunch hour, where I'm making a little roguelike game in Python. It is open source, so if you want to follow along, you can just go to github.com/joshuaskelly/lunch-break-rl, and you can see the code here. I also tag each episode. So if you want to check out the code, if you're a future person watching on YouTube, you can check out tag EP9 and the code will be synced with where I'm at right now. But it isn't necessarily structured so much as a tutorial, but just as me kind of working through problems and just making a little game for fun. So hey chat, hey everybody there. Yeah, everything looks all right. Cool. And hey, Quirky Quirk. Let's play a little bit real quick to see where we left off, because I know that I made a goof. I always realize my mistakes I make very shortly after like the stream ends, which is always embarrassing. But oh well, oh well. I think also I might need to mute myself maybe, and then this should be playable. Let me just test it. Join. Yeah, it's really dark. Yeah. Cool. So this is where we're at. So the current state of things is as the host, I can draw the little dungeon, and the players can move around using like commands like down and right. But you notice when the players here, Quirky Quirk and Python user, what happens is all their moves execute at once. So when Felix said down and right, he just immediately jumped down and right. So I want to have this little timer at the bottom drive a tick. So what you can do is you can queue up moves, and then they will be popped off the queue or pop up the stack, depending upon how you want to think of it. And or it's a queue, first in, first out. And they will be executed. And that will also give us the basis for a basic AI system. So that's where we're at. Cool. And let's make this better. Also, let's fix the timing on this. So my math on that is wrong. Get status. Yeah, let's open up our editor. All right. And I realized here, if I multiply this value by 100, I get 1 second. So if I multiply it by 50, I get 2 seconds. And that might be closer to correct, maybe. Yeah, because if I run it now, it should just be, nope, wrong one, Joshua. No, Python, game.py. No, 1001, 1002. I think that might be okay. Hey, Dakota. Okay. So then, what I also, let me self that time plus equals time. Yeah, I want to emit events at that interval. So let's start self that time. I guess I can probably do something like self dot seconds per tick equals, let's say 3. And then I could say self plus time equals time. I want to increment that. If self dot time greater than self dot seconds per tick, this is when we actually want to do stuff. Self dot time equals 0, and notify to tick. Yeah, so tick is what we should do. And hopefully this shouldn't break things, though it might look a little weird. Let's see how our progress bar looks now. Yeah, up. Yeah. So yeah, that looks like so basically the seconds per tick is not jiving with this value here. So basically instead of doing magic math, we should actually probably just figure out the correct value to put there. Yeah. So this is the max value, right? That's the most it can be. So it should just be self.time over self.seconds per tick times that, right? Yeah, I think that's right. 1001, 1002, 1003. All right, and then if I change it, if I want to make it faster, so like 1 second a tick, is that right? Yeah, that seems to be correct. Cool. All right, so I think 3 is probably okay, because again, Twitch does limit the number of chats you can send. Dakota says, "How would this work if the stream has a delay?" I mean, I've turned on the option on Twitch to minimize my delay, but there's still going to be like 30 seconds or so from when you see it to when it actually executes. I don't know. Like people seem to move around okay. Again, this is all like really this is new for me, and I'm not really sure how to quite design in this space, but I want to check it out. And then I think Felix is the one who mentioned that we can just instead of using my little notify system, we can just shove an event into TDL, which is the Python framework we're using. Python TDL docs. I think it's just event.push, event.put. Probably one of those. I should just keep this up whenever I'm running my little stream, because having the documentation up for whatever you're working with is always a good idea. Okay, so TDL event and push looks like the correct thing here. Push event into the buffer, an event-like object. So the minimum it asks for is a type attribute. What is it defined by event-like? Or is it just anything that has a type property? So I mean, is it as simple as O equals object, O.type equals tick, and then I can use the I don't know why I have this open twice. Forgive me. And then down here I can say tdl.event.push. Oh, is that enough? Dakota says, "How cool would this be if it was made for Discord as well?" I'm not sure what you mean, made for Discord. How would you see it? And then let's also, I guess, for the player, let's just have the player listen for a tick event, I guess. I mean, we're gonna have to do that eventually, right? So elif event.type equals tick, because this is the one we're sending. Print tick. Okay. Let's see how I've broken things. Join. Uh-oh. It's broken. Object does not have object has no attribute type. Yeah. So so that quick and dirty one was not the right way to do it. What would be a better way to do it? I mean, I could just define my own class, I suppose, here in this level window. Yeah. It's weird this level window is also what's driving tick. That seems to be pretty core functionality, but like this, maybe the scene should own tick, or should the game own tick? I don't know. We'll start here. I think I can just do something real even grosser. Is I can just define a class on the fly. So like class E of type object s go to type equals tick, or O equals E. Let's try that. Tick. 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 There we go. Leave. Leav. Red Origin Games says, how do you plan to export your game? Do you plan to export it? I have looked into it, and it seems like actually Python. If you want to get a binary of Python, it's pretty darn easy. All you have to do is import the PyInstaller package, and then you can just create a binary from it. It's pretty easy. I've done it for my other game. So let me see. This game, it's called Trouble in Cloudland. It is the first game I ever completed. I wrote it back in 2007 with a buddy, and it is written in Python and Pygame, and it has both a Mac and a Windows build binary for it. So it's certainly something you can do. It's not so bad. Okay, cool. So cool. Let me see what else. So this is working, though. It makes me want to refactor where this whole time thing lives. Suggestions from chat. Should this tick be part of, I guess, the scene, right? I will put it here in the scene. Okay. Entities, blah, blah, blah. And so self.time, self. Seconds per tick equals 3. And self dot timer equals 0. Update. So should entities update or before or after tick? Let's go after, I suppose. That's probably okay. Self dot seconds per, no, it's self dot timer plus equals time if self dot timer greater than self dot seconds per tick, self dot timer equals 0, and then you need to import TDL here. TDL dot event dot push, do something there, and then here I guess I can just create another class here. Class tick event isn't type object, and so it just has a simple constructor. There we go. Self.type equals tick. There we go. And then tick event. Easy enough. Nope, I need that 2 space for pep 8. Okay, and then in here, I don't need to emit these tick events. I can keep this timer here because I'm using it to track the progress bar. And I guess if I want, I can right here, this level window, and do w.seconds per tick equals self.seconds per tick. Just to keep them synced up, just in case we want to change it. Let's see what that looks like. Everything should still be, should have very little change. Join. Cool. And let's say I make the turns really long. So if I want to change it here, it's like 10. And then join. Cool. It's interesting that the bar is never empty. Yeah, I guess I could straighten that out in the future if it bugs me. So what have we done so far? Should we save our progress? Player, scene, and UI. Here I don't think I need TDL anymore, so I'm not doing anything with that. And so yeah, this creates the tick event, and then the player, I believe now, responds to the tick event. And actually, I'm wondering now if I should just make a method that's just called tick and then do stuff there. So something like def tick self. Which is better? Self.tick. I guess this is fine. Cool. Let's go ahead and commit where we're at. And added tick event. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to build like, so my thought is I'm kind of lifting this from other things I've read, but there should be I want to basically like every entity that needs to do stuff to have a list of actions to execute. So what this will do is this will, instead of directly moving the player, it will create an action for the player to move. So I think I watched a talk about by the developers of Caves of Cud recently. They used a system that I might mimic a little bit. I guess let's just, for lack of a better term, let's just make an AI module. Let's rename this, because there we go. Hi, cool. And new file. It's going to be called brain.py, and this is just going to be class brain object. And it's mostly going to be an interface, really. I don't even know if brains have a. Yeah, they should. I think brains need to have a constructor, self and owner, I guess. Self.owner equals owner. Because basically we want to perform actions on the owner and not the actual brain. The brain doesn't do anything. So and also self.actions equals this. Def perform action self. This will just perform action equals self.actions.pop 0. My question is, can I, if it's empty, then I probably don't want to do that, but let's try it out. Python a equals list of range of say 4. A dot pop 0. There we get an index error, and I don't think 1 if a else 2. So if self.actions action equals this, action.perform. So basically, if we have a queue, so this is a queue of actions, and if we have one, pop the one off the front and perform it. And let's also add I guess a new file in here called action.py. And I guess this will just be the base class for actions, I suppose. So class action. Yeah, I'm not sure. Mostly it's going to say perform. Self. Is that it? Pass. Do something. And I think the pattern the Caves and Cud folks were using were saying they have like a def prereq. Def prerequisite self. Pass. Or return true. And then here, if self dot prerequisite do it, else fail. Okay. So this will allow us to set the owner, actions.perform. Action perform should probably take the self.owner and then do something to it, right? So action self, comma owner. Maybe this should also take owner here as well. So we're probably gonna need to check some sort of state before we can, like for example, I think the case here is for like if you want to have a move action, the prerequisite for move would be, can you actually move there? And if not, don't even before the action, just bail. Okay, so okay, and I guess real quick, I can just stub out a quick move action because we're going to need one. So class move action is of type action, and I don't even know if I need this inheritance, but whatever. I guess if you don't have prereqs, you can just not implement that. Def prerequisite self comma owner, and then this player, they have a move, and it calls it the super.move, which does what? I think there's somewhere there's a check. So right here, I'm doing a check here, so maybe I should refactor that out and just call, so def can move self comma x comma y, and I think scene.scene current scene check collision. Yes, so check collision. The check collision will return true if, so return. So this returns if you can move. Check collision, scene check collision. So this returns if the character is not empty. So this will let me just make a note real quick so I even returns true if player cannot move into chords. Okay, that should be correct because we're just checking to see if it's not a space, which is okay. And then entity, no, an entity character. Character can move. So this is return. Geez, I'm getting confused here. So I was just at entity, I believe. No, scene.scene. Returns true if the player cannot move. Check collision. So can move, return not. So if it's not colliding, if self dot can move, self dot actually, I don't even need to pass the x and the y because I already have it. No, I need the dest x, y, dest y. X, y, and then I need to check it here. X and y, and then up here, I just need to pass in dest. That should work. So if can move, let me just check this refactor out too to make sure I haven't broken everything. I quit. Join. Right. Down. Okay, cool, it's working. There we go. So then in our move action, def prerequisite is return owner dot can move, and then I guess I need also a dest can move dest. And I think this move action probably also needs a yeah, it needs a constructor. So let's add a constructor, def init self and dest. And self dot dest equals dest. And then I can get rid of that here. And this can be self dot dest. Because I don't really want to have specialized prereqs. This should just be a pretty standardized interface for like the prereq perform should be the same for all actions. So if self dot prerequisite of owner, and I don't even know if this, maybe the brain should call this and not. Yeah, we'll see who should actually handle the actual prereq stuff, because we don't even. I guess I'm kind of implying that the brain should handle that. If action dot prerequisite of owner perform. Okay. And these just do something. And then owner dot, I think all characters can move, so we just move them then. Owner dot move to self dot dest. All right, that seems to be okay. Okay, so let's start hooking some of this stuff up is what we need to do next. I guess it makes sense if all characters have a brain. I mean, that just seems like the, because I think the lower level thing is entity, and that, I don't know if should entities have brains. I'm trying to figure out where this lives. You know, entity is anything that can be shown on the screen but not necessarily have logic. So maybe characters are where we draw that line. So let's try that. So from AI import brain, and no, lowercase brain. From AI import action character. Then it's going to override the entity constructor. This is just super dot init share position foreground background. There we go. And self dot brain equals brain dot brain. And it takes a parameter of self. There we go. And actually, this whole tickable thing might be just implemented down at the character level. Yeah, so entity is the one that handles, so it doesn't do anything for handle events, but I can put something in here for def handle events, self and event, and say if events.type equals tick, self.tick. And then now we need a tick method, def tick, tick self, self.brain.perform action, which should be correct. And here we need to call super.handle events. Event. And I don't think I need to handle this specifically just yet. I think I can just queue up actions and that would be sufficient. Okay, so the character is the one that handles the tick. And the tick is just having the brain perform an action, which should look at the list of things and execute those. So now on the player, so self.brain perform action, and then let's have a def add action. And if is instance of so I want to make sure we're only pushing actions into here and not just random junk. So from AI import action. Let me refactor this real quick. So to perform. How about current action? Don't want to get some name collisions here. So there we go. There we go. This is a new action. New action. And action dot action. Self dot actions dot append. We want to put it at the end. Cool. Hey, Vux78. Nice to see ya. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, I've been doing this new little series every weekday at noon called Lunch Break Roguelike, which is hopefully what my little stream says. Yeah. So I'm just working on a little roguelike game for an hour a day. And it's been a fun little thing, and it's been I don't know, I'm just trying to push myself and do fun things and make time for stuff that I always said I wanted to make time for. Okay, so this is a player. So here I need to say from action or from AI dot AI import action, and then down here instead of, so real quick, I guess I can do it on my end. So instead, so I can actually just override this move here, and or is that going to be that might be problematic. Yeah. So instead, my move action, split that out. So Dakota is pointing at the Delver Discord, which is different than this project. This project is not related to Delver; it's just a fun thing. But if you are into Delver, go check out the unofficial community Discord server. So move equals action.move action. It takes a dest, which should be oh, this is an absolute dest. I think this, yeah. Dest equals this, and -1. Okay, cool. Yeah. So yeah, if you want to catch Delver updates, those are done every Sunday at noon. Then self.brain.add action move. Cool. And that should be enough. Let me try this. And this should be +1. And this one should be -1. There we go. And +1. Okay. So that should work in theory. It should allow me to queue up events. Also, let me just put into our, I guess, our brain. Print adding action to queue. Class move action. I messed up my indentation. Oh. Duh. Yeah, sometimes I forget, like, when in Python you have to have a pass to define a function body, or you can have a docstring, like, and this is sufficient. But if you simply have a comment, that is not. So that's what I was goofing on. Self.brain, bad syntax, character.py. Cool. Is it brain? None? Is it complaining I'm trying to use self inside the constructor? Why is that an invalid syntax? What am I doing wrong? Oh, so I didn't. Because I forgot to add a parenthesis up here. Okay, there we go. Join. Right. Did it queue the events? Left. Oh, that doesn't. It says adding action to queue. Aim owner is not defined. Okay. And that's in. In the brain. Oh, this should be a self.owner. Okay. Come on. There we go. Yep. There we go. Yep. Yeah, why did you not join? There we go. It's adding an action to the queue. I think I may have. Oh, something crashed. I'm spamming join in the Twitch, not in the game. This is a Twitch-based game. Yeah, something's going wrong here. Okay, let me kill that. And just for good luck, I'm going to keep that up because I probably will need it again. Okay. Yeah, I'm really curious why that's doing what it's doing. Some player window. So this is getting added to the scene. I could just manually add one to the scene, I suppose. Scene.py. P equals player.player. Yep. That's probably fine. p.nickname equals test. Self.entities.end b. Yeah, so it's just right now it's just really terribly slow. So let me take this down to 1. So right, down. So down is way broken. Why is it? Okay, something's going on. Oh, I think it might actually be in my player. I think actually it might just be as simple as this here rather than. I don't think, because I think it's cumulative, so I don't think I need to do that. Let's do that. Let's try this. I think this is what is goofing it. Okay. Nice. Yeah, so that is what I was aiming for. So that seems to be okay. Our little brain is executing its moves like we expect. Shiro's game says, how optimized is Python for games? You could certainly write games in Python. Python is reasonably fast. So the first game I ever wrote was in Python 10 years ago, and it is still very playable today, and it runs at like pretty darn well. I think back then though we were still using 4:3 aspect ratio monitors, so it looks a little odd, but because I think it's hard coded like a 1024 by 768, which was pretty high def back then, or it was high def enough. So these actually look awfully similar. And actually I can probably grab that and just shove it into there. And grab that, shove it there. So I don't need to do anything with it other than just shove it into the brain. Okay. Then I can just copy this quick and dirty. I can just copy this. Actually, let me just do it one by one. This, and then this one. We're down. And there's definitely some code simplification that can be performed here, because these are basically the same thing. It's just a slight variation, so it probably can easily be improved. And let's see if this works. Actually, real quick, let me a couple changes before I do that. Let me get rid of the hard-coded test player. Scene.py. Okay, you're gone. And let's set it back to like maybe just do 2 seconds a tick and see how that feels. Okay. I definitely use PyCharm for larger projects. Nice. Yeah, so if you folks want to jump in and help me test some stuff out, that'd be appreciated. You should be able to move around and do all that jazz. I can draw a little level for you folks to explore. Uh-oh, somebody. This looks like the collision is goofed up somehow. Yeah, Shiro, if you're off the screen, you might want to leave and join again. Yeah, because I think before I was manually drawing in, because these are the only real collision things that matter. Why am I not going down? Yeah, if something's not working correctly, let me know. And I'm not able to, well, I am able to move. Yeah, so our player collision is messed up. Looks like some of Shiro's commands aren't actually going through. Yes. Or is it the player tick is not being... Yeah, something's not quite right here. Yeah, I've noticed that. Right. Down. Right. Down. Right. Yeah, it might be goofing the collision, is my guess. Yeah. So what I think what's happening is, if you notice, there's a border around the level, so it's offset by 1. So it looks like the collision also needs to be So like I walk through this wall because it thinks I am up and to the left of one space where it thinks there's an offset to my position that isn't there. Yeah. Yeah. So it seems to think that like Mr. Moab is actually in this space right here to his bottom right. So let's see if I could fix that. That should be an easy enough thing to check. But again, it's strange because I thought the player is the one handling all this stuff. Not the player, the character. Character can move. Scene of scene currency and check collision. Check collision is handled in the scene. Then the scene just check collision. Self that level, get caret XY. Oh, I think this is wrong. I think this needs to be -1, -1. Yeah, if you folks could help me straighten out some of this collision detection, let's see if we can probably get, I'm certain we can get it working, and then I'll call it a stream. Okay, so I should be able to go, so up, right, and then down. Okay, and then right and down. There we go. And left. Cool. So it does seem to be handling the collision much better. So yeah, so if you folks want to play for a little bit, I will. I can just leave this up for a few moments, and I'll just make a little map, and you guys can play for a little bit. Yeah, I don't check to see if you're actually still within world bounds, I think. Or do I? Yeah, let me try one little change. And then I'll let you hooks have your fun. So returns true player. If xy in self level dot data. Okay, so that should prevent you from moving outside the map. Let's try that. Get a running start here. See, I can't move left at all now. Yeah. Oh, I still need to apply the -1. -1. I really should do something like minus self.level.x, I think is the more correct way to do it. I think this, when I add this level, it's at 1, 1. Yeah, self.level y. So if I want to reposition it, that would work just fine. Did I flip? You get the logic reversed on that? So if this, so if it's not space, and if it's let me see. Okay, well, I think I'm just about out of time, so I'll let you folks play for a little bit. Right now, you can walk off the edge of the world, but I don't think that's the end of the world. Join. Right. Cool. Take care, Dakota. Gotcha. Sorry, I'm fiddling with some studio stuff, I guess. Maybe. All right, looks like things should be ready. So have a good day, everybody, and I'll leave this up for a few minutes so we can play around. I will see you tomorrow at lunch. Bye.